You're listening to Sexpert with me, Renee, where we say words like piece of shit, motherfucker, cocksucker, cunt. We get so dirty that even your mother's soap bar can't clean our mouths. You've been warned.
Welcome to Sexpert with Mia Renee, where we talk everything sex. Get ready for awkward topics, inappropriate jokes, foul language, and a little bit of education. We are no doctors, just young adults looking to inform our generation about sex so they can live healthier, naughtier lives. I'm Mia Renee, your host. Are you ready? Hi guys, welcome to Sexpert, where we are teaching our generation how to lead healthier and naughtier lives. I'm Mia Renee, your host, and welcome to episode fucking 15. Oh my god, I cannot believe we made it to episode 15, where we're going to be discussing condoms, birth control, alien condoms, birth control myths, other shit, as usual. Tonight I'm joined by Madison, Mason, and Mason's wonderful cat. How is everyone tonight?
Doing all right.
Doing good.
It only took us 20 minutes to get to this point.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
A little bit of technical difficulties, but it's okay. We made it. We're good, and we're just going to move on. We'll be good. And it sounds like everyone's sounding good. So let's do a little social media self-promo, and then we can run along with the episode. So if you haven't already liked us on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/sexpert with Mia Renee. Great page, great people. It's where you get updates and links to every single one of our episodes. We're on Podbean, we're on YouTube, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play. YouTube, I'm so sorry, I still need to put up the last 2 episodes. I just keep fucking forgetting. So someone get on me about that. And speaking of our previous episodes, our last episode with Abigail Aquay was fucking awesome. So go check it out. It's great. I mean, I like fucking read erotica at the beginning of the episode. And then Abigail and I discuss her Obama erotica. So if you want to get some free erotica about Barack and Michelle Obama, you should definitely listen to that episode because I provide you with the link to get that. Yeah, Madison, people can find you on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, and
of which
we'll
the
leave
handles
names
will
below.
be below. And oh my god, we have such exciting news, guys. Guess who isn't a robot anymore?
It's me.
Mason, what did you do before this episode started?
I made a Twitter account.
You sound so fucking excited,
Yeah.
Mason. I need you to step up your fucking game right now.
I'm on Twitter. I am.
You're on.
I know.
No, it needs
My
to be
mind
like
is blown.
I am on Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
I am.
This week, like really excited. Yeah. Why are you not more excited?
Social media.
What's your Twitter handle?
Mason Spec 1. Really original.
I'm gonna follow you right
that's
now.
creative.
Yeah, you'll see.
I'm gonna go.
You see me
It's
and
very
Austin in my
creative.
profile picture. It's the same one I use for Facebook.
Oh my god! So
Exactly.
he's just gonna hate you even more.
Yeah, he's very upset that I did that.
Awesome. As if he didn't already hate you enough. Mason Spec.
Yeah.
1. I see it. You have 3. You have 4 followers now.
What?
Oh wait, no. You're following 3 people.
Yes.
I'm your first follower, though. I was
Yeah.
your first follower.
Okay.
Everyone remember that when he becomes famous. You don't even have a bio. This is so
I know,
lame.
yeah. I made it like 15 minutes
You
ago.
have got to stop. You have no tweets. You have, okay, you know what your first tweet needs to be?
What?
It needs to be about Sexpert. You need to tweet recording episode 15 of Sexpert, and I'll retweet you.
No, just tweet condoms.
Yes, just tweet condoms. Actually, that's perfect, because I tweeted out a poll the other day. I love it how my roommate just left and left the door wide open, so our entire hall is going to get to hear about condoms. But
They need to be educated.
I tweeted...
It's college.
I don't know. My hall's a little
weird.
They don't go out much.
Oh.
So I tweeted out a poll on Twitter. If you're not following me, it's at Mia Renee Cole. You find me Mia Renee Cole everywhere. And I asked how often. Oh, thanks for the follow back, Mason. I really appreciate it. I asked how often do you use a condom when having sex? Hashtag Sexpert. Hashtag condoms. Hashtag sex. I love hashtags. And so 20% of people said always. 20% of people said sometimes. And 60% of people said never. So that's why we're doing this episode. So that we can encourage people to use condoms or use birth control or some form of birth control when having sex. And given that tweet didn't say, do you use any form of birth control? But condoms tend to be the more easily accessible and highly used. But we're here to educate you a bit about not just condoms, but birth control in general, because we're here to talk about sex. And happy October, by the way, everyone.
This is
it's fucking Halloween season. Woo. Right? I received a greeting card in the mail today, or I guess it was yesterday because today's Sunday, from my mom, and it's like low-key a sexual Halloween greeting card. Let me read it to everybody. Did she mean for it to be sexual? Oh yeah, fuck yeah she did. The card says, you can do it by the light of the full moon. You can do it while wearing your costume. You can do it with a werewolf. You can do it inside a tomb. You can do it with candy corn in your mouth. You can do it at the stroke of midnight. You can do it in a haunted house. You can do it while riding a witch's broom. You can do it in a spooky cave. You can do it in a torture chamber. You can do it at a Halloween party. You can do it while trick-or-treating. In fact, you can read this Halloween card just about any time and place you want.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
And she included she included magazine clippings of roasted pumpkin seed recipes, Sun Chips Veggie Harvest flavor, Matthew McConaughey,
essentials,
and Nick Jonas in his new movie. So I basically just got all I have ever asked for in a card. I only hope my grandmother can top this with a equally, if not better, sexual Halloween card. I'll have to let her know that there's a competition going on for that. But yeah, it's a spooky season, and nothing is spookier than aliens, which leads me into sex today for this week. Send condoms to space to teach aliens how to have out-of-this-world sex with hot earthlings, the Swedish say. The Swedish as a whole. That's what they say. A Swedish charity is urging NASA to send condoms into space. It said they might come in handy if aliens decide to find hot earthlings. The Swedish Association for Sexuality Education posted this bizarre video. And this is on the Daily Mail, and it'll be linked below. And at first I was like, what the fuck? There's no way this is real. Hear me out. It's real. So there's about a 1.5 minute long video. I highly suggest you watch it. It's not in whatever they speak in Sweden. It's in English. The best language. I feel like it is Swedish, but I feel like because in Sweden, like it's just like it's one of those countries that's just got like 20 other countries around it. It's as I think, don't they speak some French there too?
2 countries. Technically, there's 3.
That's Switzerland, not Sweden. See, because that's like, is that considered the Netherlands? I'm going off of an American public education here.
Finnish?
So
maybe? Some Finnish?
Finnish, exactly. It's just kind of like, do they speak Swedish?
No.
They
Sweden?
can speak fucking Spanish for all we know.
Sweden.
Finland?
Sweden.
Right.
It's a country.
Finnish.
It's a country
Finland,
in Europe.
Norway, Sweden. Finland,
How do you know all this?
Norway, Sweden. Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian. Done.
What are you? Oh my god!
They don't speak
that was the best
Norwegian.
thing.
We're gonna fight.
Norway.
Swedish don't speak Swedish.
Isn't Elsa from Frozen from one of these countries or something?
Yeah, it's called Scandinavia. It's kind of all of
This is
those.
just sad. This is
Oh,
sad.
is it really?
Yeah. It's like.
Back to alien condoms. So.
To be fair, the Swedish are pretty much aliens. You know.
Well, obviously they're sending condoms to the aliens. So the article says, in a Star Wars-inspired video to promote the space condom idea, this non-profit organization said the little latex thingy is one of the most important inventions ever. Dear NASA, we know you guys sometimes send stuff into space so that whatever life is out there will get an idea of what goes on down here on Earth, said the video. You forgot to inform little green people about one super important object, the condom. We can't be sure about what alien sex organs look like. A condom might always come in handy if they decide to visit Earth and find some hot earthlings. The video, published on World Contraception Day, is intended to promote the use of condoms back on Earth. In the petition to NASA, the Swedish charity said if people can decide if and when to have kids, they stay. If people can decide if and when to have kids, they stay in school longer, improve their economy, and give birth to babies later in life with fewer risks to their own health. So, they were kind of encouraging alien and human sex, but not really. It's an interesting campaign. Garnered some attention, and a really good topic of choice for the spookiest month of the year. So
basically dress up like an alien and be like, hey, I was told that we were having sexuals.
yeah, just go to human. Maybe, there's probably alien porn out there, and I wouldn't put it past that. But my favorite part of this is when they refer to the condom as that little latex thingy. I like that a lot. All right, moving on to something less alien-y and really weird, because I don't know. 10 birth control myths debunked, because myths suck. 10 birth control myths, we're just going to zoom through them, and then we're going to get to the actual fucking content of this fucking episode and fucking talk about real goddamn shit. So, myth number fucking 1. The pill makes you gain weight. Alright. So let's talk about this for a second. It's just so generally thought that the pill makes anybody just gain weight.
Me?
And it makes you... Exactly. If Mason were to take a birth control pill for no fucking reason, it would make him gain weight. That's like... It's believed that anyone who takes the pill will gain weight. Like, it's just like...
Everyone's
but
different.
It's untrue. The pill affects people... Well, first of all, it's not... it's the pill. There's not one prescription. There's multiple different types of pills that you could take. And some of them may affect people's weight more than others in a general study for the pill, for the specific prescription. But people's bodies are so different. They're going to, just like someone's pain threshold. Like some people experience pain more than others. Some people may experience weight gain more than others. Some people, I've had friends go on birth control and lose weight. I've had friends lose weight and get bigger boobs. It's just, you're not always going to gain weight on birth control. So that's our first myth here. And then our second myth is, you don't need to be on birth control if you're breastfeeding, because I believe it's like breastfeeding. Let me just read this. This kind of very common myth is false and probably to blame for many unplanned pregnancies. I guess it's because people believe that breastfeeding, you're not like ovulating or something. I don't know, some bullshit like that.
I thought that it was like the hormone stuff that they were worried about, like because you're giving your hormones. That's part of it. But like I think the way this is phrasing it is like you don't have to be on birth control when breastfeeding. Like it's not necessary. But here it goes in. It talks a bit about the hormones here. It says, breastfeeding exclusively can suppress the hormones from the I cannot say this word, pituitary gland, the boob, that not the boob, the pituitary gland that make you ovulate. I cannot say it worth a shit. Okay, so while there's certainly a dip in your fertility, it's nowhere near foolproof. So even though you're breastfeeding doesn't mean that your body is naturally a birth control. Number 3, you have to take the pill at the same time every day, like down to the very minute. This again depends on the prescription of the pill. Like some are more, some are stronger than others. Some have a shorter half-life. So like, as long as you get it around the same time every day, at least in my experience when I took the pill. And that can be a hassle, but setting just an alarm for yourself is super helpful either way. But if you miss it by a minute, you don't have to freak out. Yeah. 4, being on the pill for a long time will make it harder to get pregnant later. Number 5, newer forms.
I mean, that's like saying, like, what's the other myth I've heard? There's been a couple just weird, and it's not necessarily about birth control, but it's like, I don't know, but that's just a weird one. It's just like, it's been drilled into people's heads to keep them off of birth control. You know, it's an entirely untrue myth. It does not come from any truth at all. Number 5, newer forms of birth control aren't as safe as older brands. And I mean, whereas newer forms we don't have as many long-term tests on as we do older forms, you know, some forms of birth control now for women have only been around for like a decade, you know, whereas the original type of pill we have decades of research on. But the truth is, the newer the birth control, the fewer hormones it contains. So that's actually going to be better for your body because you don't want to be adding a lot of external hormones that you don't necessarily need. Number 6, you shouldn't get an IUD unless you've already had children.
No.
No. Madison's like, if you got your IUD, like,
I'm like on my second or third year, so, and I'm fine,
Yeah.
so.
I've heard this one before, and it's because people flip shit about this because it does, like, it's considered more painful for women who have never had children before, but it's because they have to, like, widen your cervix.
Yeah,
you know?
they dilate
And, like,
you, but like whenever
yeah.
I went, I had a really good OB, and she gave me relaxants and like told me whenever the pain was gonna come, and I really didn't even know what was happening.
Right, which is awesome. So, like, it's, you know, people freak out about it, and, you know, I get where this myth comes from because the only other time a woman's cervix is really dilated is when she's in labor. But you can still get it even if you haven't had kids. It's okay. It may be less painful for a woman who's gone through childbirth, possibly, but, you know, as Madison just fucking said, she didn't feel a thing, almost. So,
I wouldn't
have a
say
good
I didn't
doctor.
feel a thing, but like
Right.
if you have a good doctor
Yeah.
that knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
then it's not gonna be, you know, I guess you have to do a cost benefit type thing for yourself.
Yeah, have a good doctor. Have someone maybe there with you to hold your hand.
Yeah, my best
be
friend
good.
was there, so.
That's awesome. It's always good to have a friend's support. Myth number 7, it's unhealthy to use birth control to skip your period. So, like, okay, let me just read this because it's like the title itself is kind of confusing, at least for me. It may seem sneaky and taboo to manipulate your monthly flow by taking 2 months of pills back to back, but the truth is it's totally safe. If you're a good candidate to be on birth control in the first place, you're healthy, you don't have high blood pressure that's uncontrolled, you're not over 35 or a smoker, then you are indeed a candidate for fiddling around with your cycle, says the doctor that participated with this article. Just be prepared for some breakthrough bleeding, which is more likely if you just started a new pill, if you're on a triphasic pill, like orthotricycline, which I was actually on at one point, or if you delay it for more than a month or 2. So, basically, what they're explaining here is, like, you're good. If you're healthy, you're good. And, like, you can't just, like, when getting birth control for women, when you get birth control, it's not like you just kind of walk in and grab some. They do ask you, like, questions about your health, just to make sure you are in a healthy standing for it. Because they wouldn't want to ever put you in harm's way. But that doesn't mean it's hard to acquire birth control whatsoever. Myth number 8, using a condom seriously diminishes his pleasure. I think this will come up later. Yeah, I've had the argument so many times from guys of, oh, it just doesn't feel as good, or, oh, I can't finish in a condom. And it's like, oh, well, suck it the fuck up, dude. Like, Mason,
Yes.
your opinion.
Totally. I mean, I don't know. I've never had a condom that feels like it's not there. But I wouldn't say it feels bad. I'm sure you can have an unpleasant experience with a condom. I'm sure you can have a lot of those. But I think for the most part, if you're not a moron, you can make it work.
They also make like extra like ridged ones and stuff like that. I feel like that
Yeah.
would increase pleasure.
I wouldn't really know. I'm
Yeah.
pretty basic when it comes to
We'll
condoms. I don't.
we'll talk in
The
a
ones you
second
can get in the
about.
bathroom.
Yeah, pretty
That
much.
basic.
Oh my god. Yeah. Those may not be the best, but
No.
we'll talk in a second about how to make condoms a little bit better, a little bit more fun, a little bit more pleasurable, because it is understood pretty generally that condoms, I mean, they're not necessarily for a male's pleasure. They're not necessarily always there to enhance his pleasure. Some can, and with a few like different tips and tricks, sometimes you can help them increase the man's pleasure. But it's not going to seriously diminish his pleasure, and you can do things about that too, which we'll talk about in a minute. Myth number 9, all birth control is now free. Sadly, this is not true. Whereas certain insurance will pay full on for birth control, or, the Affordable Care Act is really helping, with covering birth control and stuff. It's, unless you're picking up as Mason or Madison pointed out, the shitty condoms in the bathroom or at the basket at the health department, which those, and to my understanding, seem to be, at least for males, thicker, less comfortable. They'd prefer to buy their own brand. Yeah, but a lot of times you do have to pay for birth control. I'm fortunate I didn't have to pay anything for what I have now, which is the Nexplanon, so it's the implant in the arm. But in the past, I had to pay like a couple bucks a month for my prescription, and I literally made like under $5 a month with my insurance that I had then. So it's not entirely free, but it can definitely be affordable. And if you utilize the right resources, like if you don't feel like you can afford birth control, going to the health department can really be helpful with that. Planned Parenthood can really be helpful with that, instead of going through like a private doctor. All of those can be super, super helpful. Myth number 10, your body needs a break from birth control. I get where this myth would come from, I guess, but, like, at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be off and on birth control. Like, you don't want to give your body that quote-unquote break, because it only confuses the hormones more, and it could cause a weird imbalance, especially if you try to go back on birth control. That could cause your body to get really confused. So it's best to just kind of keep it consistent. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
And like
Madison?
my experience, whenever I first got on the pill, I thought that I was going crazy for 3 months. I could have swore that I was going insane. And I couldn't imagine going off of it and then going through that again. I mean, I didn't go through anything like that with my IUD because all of the hormones are localized, but I couldn't imagine
Yeah.
going on and off
It,
of.
like, birth control, yeah, it takes adjusting to. It really, truly, truly does. And, like, for instance, with my Nexplanon, I love bragging about my Nexplanon because I don't have a period with it. I haven't had a period in, like, 2 years. And I'm dead serious when I say that. However, when I first went on it for the first 3 to 4 months, I had constant spotting and like 2 periods a month. So it's the type of thing, and I mean, I have to get my Nexplanon taken out in the next year and get it replaced. Hopefully, I'm thinking about continuing with the same one, but I may or may not have that same experience. It may be a little bit different if I go straight from one to the other. We'll see. That'll be an interesting transition that hopefully I can update you guys on. But yeah, so it's better to keep it more consistent, because your body takes, and even going off of birth control, your body will adjust weirdly to that. So it's something that you want to pretty much keep consistent and only go off of if you're looking to become pregnant. All right, so with our aliens and myths behind us, I think Madison had a little something she wanted to share that she found.
Yeah, it was an article that I found. It's Are birth control pills tied to the decline in ovarian cancer deaths? Emphasize on deaths. They think that they might have found something that over like the last they did an analysis of all these countries, and pretty much in Canada, it's decreased by 8% from 2002 to 2012, and then 22% in the UK, and those percentages aren't high, but it is something, and they think that the study that they did as actually wasn't to show that there was a connection between ovarian deaths and birth control, but that was an analysis that came out of the study that, birth control is becoming more and more acceptable and people use it, and it might be that it's, benefiting our overall abilities to overcome ovarian cancer. And they also said that other factors may be that there's use of hormone replacement therapy for menopause, or treatment and diagnosis of ovarian cancer has gotten better. But they also say that birth control could be a link to that as well, which is really cool.
Like it. I like it. I like it a lot. So they aren't just going to prevent pregnancy, but they're also going to prevent you from getting cancer, possibly. Of course, you probably don't want to use them with the mindset of, oh, I won't get ovarian cancer. But exactly. That's a very interesting study that links the two together, which I really like. Back on board with condoms before we talk a bit more about female birth control. And the episode about condoms, I believe that Mason and I did. Did we do an episode about condoms together, Mason? I don't remember.
That's a good question.
There's an article that I put up on my website, miareneecole.com, called How to Make Condoms Awesome. And that condom episode with Mason wasn't, I remember it being not crazy informative, but it wasn't like crazy informative. But I wanted to just plug this article again because this is a great way to basically promote birth control as something that can be good and pleasurable, because a lot of people do not associate condoms with being pleasurable. So here's just a couple ways to make condoms awesome. Have your partner put it on for you. And I'm so glad Madison agrees with me on that, because too many of my friends go, why it's the male's job to put on the condom.
No.
I have liberated feminist friends who say, why do I need to know how to put on a condom? And I'm just like, because it can be hot for him. Like, literally, almost every guy I've been with, it's been like, oh, we love it when girls put condoms on for us. Because they're fucking touching their dick, of course it's hot. And then, of course, I had the case one time where my ex had cut his fucking finger open and had stitches in it. And it was on his dominant hand. So I had to put on the condom. I didn't have a choice. So it's like, it's important not to put on a condom. And I really wish I could give just a fucking visual, but I can't, guys. So just practice on a banana or contact my grandmother to help show you how to do it on a banana, because she loves doing that with people. But put it on for your partner. Or if you're the one getting it put on, have the partner put it on for you. It can that whole act can be super fucking goddamn hot. End of story. We'll talk about a really cool technique on how to do that towards the end of this article. Use lube. Fucking use lube. I fucking love lube so much. I love lube as much as Donald Trump loves the thought about building a goddamn wall. Like, if I could just give everyone lube, I would. Of course, make sure it's a water-based lube, because oil lube eats through latex. So don't use oil-based lube. That's not good.
Or use latex-free
use water-based
condoms.
lube. Yeah, if you use latex-free condoms, you can use oil-based lube. That is correct. So here's like a quick tip, because a lot of people think of either just slathering the shaft in lube or putting some at the base of the vagina. Both great things to do, or not the base of the vagina, but the lips right there, which I guess would kind of be the base, because it's
the outer
lips,
area.
right? The outer exterior, yeah. But you can also put a little drop of lube in the tip of the condom before putting it on, and that's really gonna make the penis more lubricated and really pleasurable for the male. My ex and I love to do that. Buy the right size of condoms. If you have it too big, it's like a shoe. If it's too big, you can't walk in it. If it's too small, it's painful. Buy the right size.
Guys,
the
be
article
honest.
has right. You do not
Yeah.
need the 2XL. Like, you do not need it. Sorry. So in this article, there is a link to some helpful charts on condom sizing, and according to your penis size. So if you aren't sure about like what size condom you need, check out the article. It'll be linked below, and there's a little, there's like a hyperlink where you can find the charts. Play around with different textures and materials. Like Madison was suggesting, ribbed condoms, great, both for female and male pleasure. Flavored, especially for the wonderful person who's giving you a blowjob. Give them a little bit more fun of something. Just these little fun things, just little things can make things a lot better. Now here's something. I found this in a Cosmo article. Use lamb skin condoms, as in the lamb bot. Like use their skin, lamb skin condoms. That's a thing. It feels very what's the word? Caveman-y. There's like a really sophisticated word that is the synonym of caveman-y.
Neolithic.
Neolithic. See, there it is. That's why you're here, Mason. Neolithic. It feels very Neolithic to use a lambskin condom. However, that's how you get that maximum skin-on-skin contact, because you're really getting that skin-on-skin contact, I guess. Now, you can also use polyurethane prophylactic condoms. These are not latex condoms, but they allow body heat to transmit. So, because one great thing about not using condoms is just really feeling the heat of your partner, and you can't really feel that very well with latex because latex is so non-porous. So, polyurethane condoms really help you feel that heat. However, I believe it's the polyurethane, or no, it's the lambskin, excuse me. It's the lambskin condoms that are porous. They're porous enough that they don't prevent pregnancy, but they're just enough porous that they prevent STDs. Oh, no, they don't. No, I'm completely wrong. They're so porous that, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, no, it's the lambskin condoms are only able to prevent pregnancy. I can't even read my own article, guys. So lambskin condoms are only able to prevent pregnancy. They are not quite strong enough to prevent the transmission of STDs. So they have like smaller little pores that the STD whatever get through. So just make sure if you're using the lambskin that you and your partner are STD free. You can always try thinner condoms, of course, which, of course, Mason, you were saying how you've never really used a condom. That's never felt like nothing's there,
Right.
Which is understandable. One of my favorite condoms is the Trojan bearskin condoms, which I'll link to that below. You can get them on Amazon or something. I'll post the Amazon link below so you can get them shipped to your door. And you don't have to buy them in public with all the humility that is surrounded with condoms and safe sex and sexuality. But, yeah, my partners and I have really enjoyed Trojan bearskin because they are very thin. And doing that lube trick with the drop of lube in the tip with a little bit of lube on the outer vagina there at the lips, A+. Have you ever used these, Mason?
Not off the top of my head, as far as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Then again,
their packaging is great.
Honestly, I can't remember the condoms. When I go to buy condoms, I walk into a store, I say that looks like a box of condoms, and I buy it. I pick it up from the shelf, I put it on the counter, I look the cashier straight in the eyes and say, "This is what I want."
Do you buy like a little drink with it or anything?
No,
you just,
no,
or
straight condoms.
you just get the condoms.
I want them
oh man,
energy drink.
you are a man. You don't get anything. That's amazing. I'm very impressed by that. That is very hot. Yeah, that's great. So, but you don't go and you don't have like a
attention to
specific
detail
brand.
might be the reason why you haven't found ones that don't feel like
That's
nothing.
true. That's true. But in my defense, I probably don't use condoms as much as I should.
Yeah. Well, what you should do is try the Trojan bearskin and let us know how they went.
I will give you an update when I get the chance.
Please do that and let me know how you feel. Just I know that's really weird, but be, you know, with the partner or whatever, just be like, you know, babe, I've really been wanting to try something different.
Can you
Using a condom for once.
where is it safe to keep a condom?
Where is it safe to keep a condom? Not in your wallet.
What about your glove box?
Glove box?
During the winter, because we're coming into that
During
season.
the
It'll
winter.
still be cold. Like, it'll get too
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, you don't want them exposed to extreme. Condoms are like electronics. Okay, you don't want them exposed to drastic heat changes or extreme heat, or
Extreme weather.
drastic heat changes or extreme
Right.
heat, extreme weather, extreme cold. So it's best, honestly, to keep them at your bedside table, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies, in your purse. Have some condoms in your purse. Just make sure they're not like in your wallet or somewhere where they're going to be really compressed and getting rubbed a lot. Purses tend to be pretty generally fine though. Just make sure you, of course, you don't have like a pit in your purse that can poke a hole through your condom. But wallets are not good because, first of all, you know, you put it in there when you're 12 and you use it for the first time when you're 16 and the goddamn thing's expired, so that's no good. And second of all, because they get rubbed down a lot, that can truly wear down the actual condom. And possibly even cause a tear. So you don't want to really keep them in a wallet. And what use is that anyway? Because by the time, you know, you need the condom, your pants are off and on the other side of the room. So it's kind of like, I don't know. But,
What about just
so, you know, great.
Yeah.
If
I
you're,
can't think of a good place to keep a condom if you're not.
like, but like, okay, so I feel like, yeah, for males, I feel like if you are going out and you know you're going to be having sex that night or you think there's a high chance of it, I think keeping it in like a front pocket, maybe, not a back pocket that you're going to be sitting down on, I think that would be okay for just a couple of hours.
You know what? I'm just gonna get a lunchbox.
But you wouldn't want
I'm just
it-
gonna get a lunchbox with an ice pack in the bottom.
You could
and
get
it's not
like
gonna keep it too
a man
cold.
man
It's not gonna warm
purse. You
up.
could get a
I'll
man
just leave it in the
purse.
car. It's gonna
You
be
could wear a
okay.
fanny pack. All males should wear fanny packs full of condoms at all times.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, as much as, you know, females, the feminine species, they should, I believe they should also have condoms. Always.
Yes.
On them.
Yeah.
And
Condoms
many
for
women say,
everyone.
why do I need condoms? Why do I need to buy condoms? Why do I need to know how to put on condoms? Because it's fucking important. That's why. Because people literally die from not wearing condoms. Alright? Like, they do. Look at the fucking 80s. Watch Rent. I don't care. People fucking die from not wearing condoms. So, like, it's important. It's like your health. It's like you'd carry your birth control with you or fucking Band-Aids. Like, it's just, it's important. So the final trick to make condoms fun, now that we've talked about death, is incorporating them into your foreplay when putting them on, instead of just right before you have sex, because that can always seem like such a hassle. So like one tip is to have your partner put the condom on for you during foreplay, but in a very sexy way that may require a little bit of practice before you get it perfect. So you could have your partner hold the tip of the condom between the lips of her mouth, just making sure to shield her teeth, because, you know, you don't want teeth on condoms, which, by the way, reminds me, don't tear open a condom package with your teeth. So hold the tip, she or he, whoever's putting on the condom, can hold the tip of the condom between their lips, and do this as they're placing their lips over the tip of your penis. And with the tip of the condom. So you're like getting the tip on and then roll the rest of the condom down the shaft. You're at the shaft of your penis. And during this, she can kind of like suck on the head of your penis and do a little jerking off action. So it's almost like a little peep show for a blowjob, but while getting a condom put on. I like it. What's your opinion on that as a male, Mason?
It's not as fun.
You're like, it's not as fun as not using a condom.
Right. But
Every male
it'll do.
ever.
right.
It'll do. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
is having a kid
I mean,
as
I think it
fun?
can.
No, don't think so.
No. Is dying of AIDS fun?
Yeah.
No.
No.
All right, Mason. So why don't you get your goddamn shit together and not get AIDS? Because I need you for the show.
It's true.
All right.
So
Okay.
you know the person who we talked about who ended up friending you on Facebook, who you had a crush on, who's actually, yeah. I asked him his opinion on condoms.
that just
now
came
that he has
up.
a,
Did
a
you?
You
child.
did.
I did.
Oh my God. Is this part of your segment?
Yeah. Very few
Can we-
positive things to say.
He had very few. Well, I feel like
Yeah.
he doesn't know much about condoms in the first
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, when you get pregnant as a teenager, or you impregnate someone's teenager, it usually comes from the lack of knowledge about condoms, which
It's sad.
is ignorance to a degree, but it's also not entirely that person's fault. I want to talk about different forms of female birth control really quickly, and then we can move on to Mason's segment. Let's see, we have the pill, which we talked about. So basically there's multiple prescriptions for the pill. It has many pros and it has some cons. So pros, it can regulate your period. It prevents pregnancy, so it leaves women with about a 9% chance of an unexpected pregnancy. And that 9% chance is only if you don't use a condom. And it's usually the cheapest form of birth control as well. And it's also known to help with acne as well. Cons of it, you typically have to take it at a certain time every day in order for it to be fully effective. And a lot of women do report gaining weight on the pill, but not all women. So
Whenever I was on it, I actually lost a lot of my appetite. So that's like, I guess that's a way that it shows it's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody.
I didn't want to eat because I just constantly felt sick during those first 3 months, I guess. And so I ended up losing weight.
It affects everyone differently. Number 2, the birth control implant, which is kind of like what I have. It's called Nexplanon. They're promoted by a lot of professional athletes, mainly because they're very convenient and they're good for like the physically active. So pros is they last for years at a time. They have the potential of essentially stopping you from having a period. Of course, that depends on how your body reacts, but generally they do stop your period from happening, and they leave women with only a 0.05% chance of pregnancy, and that is without using a condom. Of course, that chance is even more lowered when you use a condom, and of course none of these forms of birth controls prevent STDs or STIs. A con, or let's see, 2 cons maybe, of the birth control implants: they are kind of expensive. And they have to be both inserted and removed by professionals, so it does require a visit. Well, all of these require a visit to a doctor's office, but they require an additional one typically. We have the birth control shot. They're pretty popular, especially among younger women, because they're not quite an implant, they're not quite the pill, they kind of fall in between. Pros, or they last for about 3 months at a time, I think 3 to 6 months, it kind of depends on the shot you're getting. And only about 6% of women experienced an unintended pregnancy when on the shot. Some of the cons, you do have to return to your doctor on a regular basis, like every 3 months or so, to get a new shot. And of course it's a shot, so if you don't like needles, that could be a little bit of a problem. And they're also kind of known to generally make women gain a little bit of weight. Number 4, we have the IUD, which is what Miss Madison has. These are becoming more and more popular. In fact, you probably even know someone with one. If you're listening, you definitely know someone with one. Pros, the IUD can last up for 12 years. Some IUDs last up to 12 fucking years.
Mine only lasts for
And they're
5.
5. Most of them are 5, but some last up to 12, and they're extremely effective. Women with an IUD only have about a 0.2 to 0.8% chance of unintended pregnancy. Cons, they do have to be inserted and removed by a professional. And these forms of birth control, women are more likely to have a little bit more complications, I guess, because they're a little bit more intricate and not quite as simple of a process of using. But most women generally love these forms of birth control. Which is great. We have the female condoms, which people aren't quite as informed about, and I'll post a link below for you guys to find some female condoms to use. Female condoms, that's what it is. You just put that thing up in your vagina, and it works like a male condom, but it's in your vajayjay. So, one great thing about them is you can put it in long before you have sex, like up to a couple of hours. So before you go on that hot date, you can put it in, and you don't have to worry about it putting on a condom during sex. And since it is medicine, obviously you don't have to have it prescribed. You don't have to visit a doctor. You can get it at the drugstore. However, a lot of people report cons with female condoms because it can be a little iffy when inserting it because you're putting this latexy thing in your vagina. And a lot of people say they don't like the way it looks because the end of it, because it's shaped kind of like a regular condom but a little bit wider, so that end of it, which would be at the end of the male's penis shaft, like there at the base of his shaft, it hangs out of your vagina. So it's like not as aesthetically pleasing, you could say. But women who use it tend to like it. However, it does lead the highest rate of unexpected pregnancies among women at 21%. And that's probably due to that whole application of it. Because women, it can be very hard to get in. But with practice, you can make perfect. And then, of course, where can you get birth control? Because we've mentioned acquiring birth control a little bit here. So you can visit your family doctor, your local health centers, if you have like a health department, or Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthoods are great. A gynecologist, especially for young women. You need to be seeing a gynecologist every year or so. And so you might as well just go ahead and jump into your birth control with them. And when getting birth control, typically you aren't going to be judged by your doctor. I hope that you aren't judged by your doctor because they're here to help you. So typically you basically just go in and they're just going to make sure you're healthy. And they're going to ask you like how old you are, and they're going to take your blood pressure, and they're going to see if you're a regular smoker. And that's about it. They typically, depending on where you are, they don't examine you. I have never been examined, like in my vagina, like down there for birth control. Madison, have you ever had that experience?
Well, they had to, put it up inside me so they
but
kinda...
like, I guess that was a stupid question. But like before, but with the pill, you were on the pill, right?
Yes.
At one point. So did you ever have to get examined for that? See, like a lot of fears of younger women is the whole, they're going to have to examine me. And that's pretty much a myth instilled in women by society.
And it's really not
certain
that bad.
people.
Like, if you're having sex, I feel like you should be, try and make yourself comfortable with that, because you're going to have to go through that process your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to have to get your vagina checked out multiple times before you die. So, but it's still, like, don't let that scare you, because most of the time they're not going to check down there anyway. I mean, when getting the pill for the first time, they may require you to take a swab of your vagina to check for certain STIs to make sure that you're healthy, obviously, because they don't want to give you these added hormones if you're not healthy. But you're able to swab your own vagina in privacy. And they may have you pee in the cup too, but you do all this on your own in privacy. It's fine. You have that privacy. Of course, if you're getting an IUD, you need to have someone, you need to be comfortable with someone down there. And then looking at costs for all these things, the cheapest is obviously the pill, anywhere from $0 to $50, usually about a month. Birth control implant, like the next one that I have, can be anywhere from $0 to $800. They last for about 3 to 5 years. Of course, I paid nothing for mine. The birth control shot can be $0 to $100 per injection, which, like we said, is about every 3 months. IUD can be anywhere from $0 to about $1,000. Do you remember what you paid for yours?
I paid $25.
$25, exactly. Insurance is a wonder.
And that was included
that
with
and
my
Planned Parenthood
doctor fee, like what is it called? A visit fee?
The down payment. It's like the office visit. Oh God, what am I? I'm trying to think of it. And then female condoms are $4. But I think that's about like 2 in a pack, and they're not reusable. Because no condoms are really reusable. So, I know, female condoms aren't the best choice, but I want to put them out there in case anyone was interested in possibly using them. Right. So,
And there are endless
All right,
options.
guys.
There's like spermicide and sponges and
Exactly. Do you want to talk any about that or?
we can. The main thing is like just do your research beforehand. Everyone's different. Everyone reacts differently to different types. Your body knows what it wants, within months
Right.
of you starting something new. So you got to find what works best for you.
Maybe we can talk more about spermicides, sponges, even female condoms, like some other stuff in like another episode, like about different, like more alternative, weirder forms of birth control. So be on the lookout for that, guys, because we are surely going to go over time for this episode. But this has been such an informative episode. Mason, you were talking about that guy that I used to like that added me on Facebook that got a girl pregnant in high school, that condom something, blah, 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 blah. Let's hear your segment. What is your segment? Let's everyone announce Mason's segment because this is
Yes.
a whole new thing.
The name of my segment?
Whole new world.
So, the name
Yeah.
of the segment, and I'm a little not sure about it just yet, but I want to run it by you
dear.
guys. I want to run it through
Okay.
men
Oh.
on men.
What?
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god.
I know, right? It sounds a little gay
Wait for
at
it.
first, right?
Wait
sounds
for
a
it.
little-
Men on men.
But-
Men on men with Mason Speck.
Exactly. I was thinking men on men with Mason, but
With at Mason Speck 1.
yeah, and I figured if you wanted to have like an episodic title for each segment, the first segment will be called "Hurting Virgins," because I talked to a couple of virgins about their opinions on condoms, and I think I hurt their feelings when I did. So, but I also talked to non-virgins, like the guy that we were talking about. And I have a small list of bullets for the things that they said. The guy who now has a daughter as a teenager, who did not say good things about condoms, said that they are not fun, they do not feel as good, they're only good for preventing pregnancy and STDs, and they can be a hassle. I can relate with almost all of those things in some way or another, but not entirely. And then I talked to two virgins. I'm sure you could probably both guess which ones.
I already know who they
They
are, but
both agreed that they did not want to use a condom for their first time, which I found interesting. Yeah.
Well, I hope that that their partners are on some kind of birth
you're gonna
control.
send him. You're gonna send them this episode, right?
Right. No, I'll
Like,
talk
you're
to him
gonna-
about it. And then
Because I know someone specifically, like I don't know what I was trying to say there, as a friend who the first time he had sex, the very first time he had sex, he got a girl pregnant,
Oh.
and he has like a 3-4-year-old.
Like, I cannot imagine. Like,
Like
I mean, my
it's-
first
it
time
can
was without a
happen that
condom.
quickly.
I'll be honest. But it's a
You were
problem.
also like 10. Did you even jizz?
Yes.
are you kidding me?
Okay.
Do you realize that,
Not-
He wasn't 10.
like,
Okay, pull out game strong. I'm just gonna say.
okay, but
Pull out
there's
Game
such
Strong,
thing
add
as
10.
pre-coming, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. Do they know? Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's bring them on for this next episode.
And then they also both said, and this was the final major point, that they didn't think that they were necessary with a long-term partner.
Mason, you say that so indignantly, but like your ass doesn't even use condoms.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, but they don't feel that it's necessary with a long-term partner. Why?
Mostly, and again on somewhat of this I relate. Mostly, it was a matter of trusting themselves.
Like to pull out?
Yes, and then also just because it's a long-term partner, they're not worried about sexually transmitted diseases. They don't think the person's cheating on them. They think they're both clean, stuff like that. And keep in mind, they're virgins.
I mean, if give in mind they're virgins, they don't know how any of this shit
Well.
works. No, but I mean, yeah, I get it. Long-term relationship, the woman is on a birth control that is proven very effective. I could see that. You know, you're
Right.
tested. You're not cheating. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, oh man, there's still that, you know. There's still a
yeah,
risk.
it's an inherent risk. So I don't know. And then they something else they disagreed on was one of them said that he didn't think condoms were necessary if it was even just a one-time thing and you knew that person was clean, and the other one completely disagreed on that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
wait. He said if it was just a one-time
Right.
thing.
Not like if you're in a club or something, you don't have to worry about using a condom. Like if you've known someone for a long time, but it is your first time having sex with them, they didn't think that condoms were necessary if you knew that person was clean per se.
God, I hope these people impregnate someone.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, one of them
the
already
first time they have
has.
sex.
Not the virgin though, but
Well, I'm not talking about the virgins. The nasty fucking virgins. That's what I'm fucking talking about. God damn it. God fucking damn it.
so
But they all came from a school system
that's
that
very true.
Ta-
That's the important note about this. They all came
that
from
didn't
the
teach
same
them
school.
how dangerous it is at times to not use condoms.
Yes. I took your advice, by the way.
It's
I got
just-
myself tested.
You got yourself tested.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so awesome. Madison looks so happy. Her mic went out, so she's just gonna do sign language, and I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah. I'm clean. I'm a
You're
clean
clean.
boy.
You're clean.
Yeah.
You're a clean boy.
I didn't really think I wouldn't be,
He
but I
sounds
got
so
tested
happy.
and I'm good.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for
So
you.
next time I make a
That's
mistake,
great.
I can feel anxious again.
Well, if you use condoms, Mason, you wouldn't have to feel anxious about that quote-unquote mistake.
It's true. And like I said, that was one of the things I did agree with. They're a logistical hassle.
Logistical hassle.
Yeah. We were talking about where do you keep them, you know. I know Madison. Madison's doing the forehead. She disagrees.
Madison is doing the most dramatic stuff right now. I hate you guys
But
can't see it.
don't get me wrong. It's not. I mean, if you bring someone back to your own place, it's not a big deal. But if you're going out, there's a lot of issues about how do you keep a condom? How do you keep it from breaking or overheating and I
mean, you don't have to worry about it for 3 fucking hours.
That's
Mason,
true.
But you don't want to keep all your stash of 7 condoms in your fucking what's it called? Your fucking car.
Yeah, your glove box.
For like 2 years. Like you don't.
That's true.
You don't want that, but it's okay to have them in your glove box for like a day.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, like it yeah,
I figured it was like
unless you
they
have a
would get
fucking
too hot
blizzard
if they
and
were
then
left
next
out
day
in the
you have, like, a
sun.
drought. Like, what are you keeping them on your dashboard?
I don't
in
know.
the middle of Arizona, Mason? I don't know what you're doing here, but that's not how that works.
Okay.
No.
I keep my iPod in my car. I'm assuming if it can
Yeah.
take the heat, a condom can as well.
I mean, where are you keeping your
In
iPod?
the glove box.
Okay.
Please don't steal my iPod.
Well. Oh my God. Well, yeah. So, I mean, the best place is always bedside table, but I understand that you're not always having sex, at your bedside.
That's true.
Or on your bed, or even in your own home. But definitely don't put them in a wallet. Pocket maybe for a couple hours, but like front pocket.
Deal.
Glove box, couple of hours. Fanny pack,
Oh, yes.
natural form of birth control.
Aphrodisiac even.
You could always just you have a lot of hair, Mason. You could just tuck it in there.
Probably could. That's going to last, though.
You could just have it on and ready to go. No, I wouldn't suggest that. I don't know how great that would be. I'm trying to give you options here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very important. I don't want to hear the dumb excuses of they don't logistically make sense. I don't want to hear the dumb excuses of they're expensive. Okay, have you bought a box of fucking tampons? Fuck
I
you.
have.
All right.
I have.
don't. I know you have. You bought.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you
And
don't
I had
buy
to go
them
back.
regularly.
Yeah.
You don't buy them every fucking month, Mason.
That's true. Well, neither do you.
What? Well, yeah, and it's great. Let me tell you something. I saved so much money not having to buy tampons. But okay, so there's that. Madison, do you have to? She's like, I do. She's like, I have to. I don't even. I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry, Madison. She goes, L-I. What? You don't know the alphabet. She goes, L-I. You're saying G? H? Okay,
Holy
we were
crap.
trying to do some sign language there, but that wasn't. Oh, she buys light tampons. As in the not heavy flow tampons. Why does this matter? Are they cheaper? Or more expensive? Or you just have to buy more of them? You have to buy more of them. Oh, she just buys tampons. Oh, it's a joke. But we're not getting it because Madison is mute. Did you hit the mute button, Madison?
You should check the switch on the wire. Oh, that's too. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look Look at that. It's on. It's on. Okay, guys. Well, as much fun as we're having here, Mason, did you have any more quotes whatsoever?
No, that was pretty much anything
That's
that
it.
really
That's
made
all you
sense to
fucking have
pertain
for
to
us.
what we're talking about.
You're gonna have to send this episode to them.
Yes.
Did he add me on Facebook because you may have let it slip that I had a crush on him in the 8th grade?
I have, prior to
Don't
the
fucking
condom
lie to me,
discussion,
Mason.
I have not talked to him since prior to that episode. So no.
Okay. Well.
But I will now.
You do you. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
You do you. If he listens, just have him listen to this episode so he can fucking just listen to it. Just everyone just listen to it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just get going because it's late and I got shit to do, and Mason has the Trojan Bearskin condoms to try. Madison has a voice to recover, and these virgins need to learn how to fucking use condoms. I'm gonna be messaging each of them individually. All right, well, it's been a good night, guys. Make sure, if you haven't already, listen to our episode from 2 weeks ago, our last episode, episode 14, Bare Men with Abigail Ekway. We talk about naked men and Obama erotica. And then our next episode is going to be on some shit, I don't know, maybe something spoopy, because it's gonna be closer to Halloween. I don't know if you guys are feeling like ghost sex or something. I don't know, but something spoopy. Yeah, Madison's got her like noodle arms going right now. So yeah, so we have that, and we'll be seeing you soon. Make sure to follow us everywhere, and goodbye. Bye. Follow Mrs. on Twitter, Mrs. Spec1. Stay sexy, everybody. Oh, yep, Madison said bye. She just messaged it to everyone. Goodbye. Stay sexy.